Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be reviewing some fake tan products today. Summer is just around the corner and it's definitely that time of year when I, for one, start to think about getting that bronzed glow going on. I love having a tan, and obviously getting one out of a bottle is one of the cheapest, quickest and safest ways to do it. I've tested out 4 different self-tanners over the past few weeks, 2 of which are gradual tanners and 2 of which are the more traditional kind, which develop to their full colour over a few hours. I'm going to give you all the details on all of them, as well as my thoughts on how I got on with each product, how easy it was to apply, colour payoff, etc. I'm definitely not an expert at applying fake tan. I usually just stick to one brand of gradual tan, so something that is easy to apply is a big must for me. I also don't have a huge amount of time or patience, so I was also looking for something that was pretty quick and effortless, and of course I also wanted something that gave me a really nice, natural looking tan. So those were the things that I have been looking for, and now let's see which of these 4 products tick my boxes. The first product that I'm going to talk about is my go-to gradual tanner, and I'm sure I've mentioned this on here or on my blog before. It is the Dove Summer Revived Gradual Tan. I can say right from the get-go that I really love this tan. I have been using it for years and I've always been really happy with the results. There are 3 versions of this. There is a fair to medium version, a medium to dark, and there's a shimmer one as well. I have never tried the shimmer version of this, so I can't comment on that, but I will say I prefer the medium to dark version than the fair to medium one. Even though my skin is fairly pale, it's not super pale, and I do naturally tan quite dark, so I find that the darker version of this gives me quite a nice natural looking tan. I'm also someone who likes to see my tan if I'm going to apply one. Subtle is good, but not so subtle that you can't tell any difference. This tan is really affordable. I usually buy mine in Boots and it currently retails for £7.79. It's also one of those things that you can get on offer a lot of the time, and a tube lasts me a really long time, so it's great value for money. In terms of application, you really can't go wrong with this. You just apply it exactly as you would apply a moisturiser and you get a lovely, even, natural looking tan. The only thing I do differently is wash the palms of my hands afterwards, because obviously you don't want those to tan. It doesn't take any longer to sink in than a normal moisturiser does. You can just get dressed, go about your day and forget about it. I don't bother rinsing this off, I just wait until the next day to shower again as normal. You can see a faint but noticeable tan after one application. I'd say 3 to 4 hours after applying it, and what I usually do is repeat the process for, I'd say, 3 to 4 days, just to really build up the colour that I want. I say it lasts about 3 days after you stop applying it, and I have no issues with how it fades. It's very natural, it's not patchy looking at all. There are 2 negatives with this product, one of which is there is a little bit of that unpleasant fake tan smell while it's developing. It's not too strong, but it can be a bit annoying, especially if you're wanting to apply this for several days to build up to a deeper colour. I think if it didn't have that smell, I would probably just be putting this on every single day. The second thing is that if you haven't been applying it and then you suddenly have an event to go to at short notice, like the next day for example, you won't have enough time to really get the colour that you want with this. That said, I do really love how easy this is to use, and I love the colour that it gives me, so I always have a tube of this in my bathroom cabinet. Next up, I have the Saint-Tropez Gradual Tan in Shower Lotion. Now, I badly wanted to love this tan because it sounds so easy to use. In theory, you just slap it on while you're in the shower, rinse it off, and emerge with an instant tan. Sounds perfect, right? No need to worry about getting it on your clothes, no unpleasant smell to deal with while it's developing, just instant, effortless tan. However, in practice, I hated this so much I can't even tell you. The reality of actually applying this is such a pain in the backside and so impractical. You wash in the shower as normal, then you turn the shower off and apply the tan to wet skin. Now already this is just really unpleasant. You're dripping everywhere and trying to apply this slimy lotion to yourself. I actually have quite a large shower cubicle, but I can imagine it's even worse if you're trying to do it in a small one. When you've applied the tan, you're then supposed to wash the excess off the palms of your hands. This is no easy feat because as soon as you turn the shower back on, it's really difficult not to get water all over the rest of you. But assuming that you manage that, you then have to wait 3 minutes for the tan to develop. Now, Saint-Tropez helpfully suggests that you could do something else during this time, like brush your teeth or apply a hair mask. It's completely impossible. You're soaking wet, you're covered with slime, you don't want to risk dripping any more water on yourself in case you end up with streak marks. So basically you're just standing there, getting bored, getting cold and feeling really uncomfortable. After the 3 minutes is up, you wash the tan off and get out of the shower, get dressed, get on with your day. I noticed absolutely no tan whatsoever after the first application, and I must confess, I didn't bother trying it again because I just hated the whole process so much. As far as I'm concerned, the Dove Gradual Tan is just so much easier to apply. It also gives a lovely result, and it's about half the price of this one. This one retails for £14.50. So I personally won't be buying this tan again. The only thing I would say is if you are someone who really can't stand the smell of tan developing at all, and you think that maybe you wouldn't mind the application process quite as much as I did, then maybe it's worth giving this a try. Although I would say you will probably have to apply it for 2 to 3 days to see any colour at all. So I have been testing out another Saint-Tropez product, and I am pleased to report that I have a much better relationship with this one. This is the Purity Bronzing Water Mousse, and I really love the packaging of this. I think it's really pretty. This is a regular tan rather than a gradual tan, but I actually find this as easy to apply as any gradual tan, and definitely a lot easier than the Saint-Tropez in-shower one. I use a tanning mitt to apply this after showering first thing in the morning, and it really feels so pleasant to apply. It is such a lightweight mousse and it sinks into the skin really easily. There's absolutely no feeling of stickiness whatsoever. This tan has a really nice light tropical fragrance when you first apply it as well, which I really like. And like I said, it does sink in very quickly, a bit like the Dove tan. It doesn't really take any longer than a moisturiser would. You can then just get dressed and carry on with your day. I haven't experienced any transfer with this tan to clothes, sheets, towels, anything like that. It really is quite effortless, and for that reason I don't bother rinsing this off. I just wait for my shower the next morning. Again, while this is developing, there is a very faint hint of that fake tan smell, but it really is just a hint. In fact, I would say you get it less with this than with the Dove product. It's more that you have to actually put your nose to your skin to smell it, which you're probably not going to do. I do find one application of this doesn't give me quite as deep a tan as I would like, although it is a very nice golden glow. But by reapplying it for a second day, I end up with a lovely bronze tan that I am obsessed with. So I really love this product. The only slight negative is the price. It is £31, which is pretty expensive, but it really does deliver, and it is such a lovely formula that I don't think the price would put me off buying this again. In fact, I think this might be taking over from the Dove product as my new favourite tan. The final tan that I've been trying out is from Vita Liberata, and it is the Phenomenal Self-Tan Mousse. I got the dark version. This comes in dark and medium, I think. I don't think there is any sort of light version in this range. This is the most expensive of the 4 products that I've been talking about. This retails for £37.50, which is a lot. This is also slightly different from the other 3 products because it is a green-based tan as opposed to a red-based tan. Green-based tans are generally best for medium to dark skin tones, and they can look a little bit unnatural if you're very fair. Like I've said before, my skin's kind of on the borderline between fair and medium, and I do naturally tan quite dark, so I can sort of get away with either base. The biggest advantage of this tan for me is that it gives me a really deep colour pretty much instantly. I didn't even find that I had to wait for this to develop. It dries incredibly quickly, and by the time I was ready to get dressed after my shower, I already had this incredible deep tan. So basically, if you like a really dark tan, or you need a tan instantly for a last minute event, this is the one to go for. I didn't find this quite as easy or pleasant to apply as the Saint-Tropez Purity Water, although that said, it wasn't particularly difficult or unpleasant. The Saint-Tropez one is completely colourless, whereas this one will make a bit of a mess of your tanning mitt. However, because it dries so quickly, once again, I didn't notice any transfer onto towels or clothes. Because it is such a dark tan from the first application, it does mean that you have to be a little bit more careful when applying this. I would say this is the least forgiving of mistakes of the 4 products that I've tried. But on the other hand, as I mentioned before, I'm not the world's biggest expert at applying fake tan, and I still managed to get quite a nice natural result from this without having to go to too much difficulty. It does have quite a strong guide colour, so that is quite helpful for getting the application right. Unlike the other tans, this one had a little bit of fake tan smell on the first application, but that then disappeared completely once it started to develop. That is another bonus as far as I'm concerned, and even though this is one tan that you're supposed to rinse off, I didn't feel the need to bother with that. So Vita Liberata claim a really long wear time for this tan, about 2 to 3 weeks. I didn't find it lasted anywhere near that long on me, more like 5 days at a push. However, that doesn't really bother me because I'm quite happy just to reapply tan when I feel I need it. Any of the products I've mentioned, apart from the in-shower tan, are so easy to apply that a super long wear time just isn't really a necessity for me. So to sum up, I would say if you're looking for an affordable tan, I would go for the Dove one. If you want an instant tan or a really deep colour, give the Vita Liberata a try, and for a really great all-round tan, then the Saint-Tropez Purity Water is the one. And that is it for today. I really hope this was useful. Do let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these products, and also let me know what fake tans you recommend. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe for more fashion and beauty content from a slightly older perspective. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon with another video. Bye.